Welcome to the Onside Kick, your weekly roundtable discussion of the biggest stories in sports, entertainment, and much more. Your hosts, Dave Oster and Ricky Widmer, will break down the world of basketball, baseball, and football.
Dang for three, right between the eyes!
Welcome to the Onside Kick. Ricky Widmer here along with Dave Oster. And in this segment of the Onside Kick, we're going to break down basically the season opener. I know that the MLB season started about a week or two ago in Japan.
Yeah.
When the Mariners and the Athletics faced off. But Dave, that was complete horseshit.
Yeah, nobody really watched it. It was on tape delay. It just didn't pull in numbers. It wasn't for North America to see pretty much. It was like, hey, this is an ambassador trip over there. Get more publicity for the MLB. That's great for them. I don't agree that it shouldn't be season opener, but whatever. The actual season in North America started tonight.
And today we had the defending World Series champion St. Louis Cardinals, or the Cardinals, or you like to call them.
Okay.
Without Albert Pujols,
Yep.
they still get the win against the Miami Marlins, and that $500 million, not $500,000,
$500 million.
$500 million stadium. They got shit in the outfield. They got an aquarium behind home plate.
Yep.
They have a manager. They used to be on the south side. Now he's at South Beach. But Dave, I think the biggest story, I know Rafael Furcal went 3 for 5. He batted .600 on the day. Josh Johnson didn't do so great.
Nope.
Giving up 10 hits, 3 runs. But more importantly, Kyle Loesch.
Yeah.
Coming into this game, I basically said I gave the Marlins the win. Because Josh Johnson, to me, was the better pitcher going in than Kyle Loesch. Loesch basically said, hey, fuck you, Ricky. Fuck you. He threw 7 1/3 innings, 1 run.
Yeah. Loesch came out tonight, and he just had that something he hadn't shown in a long time. Loesch had been like a second, third spot starter for the Cardinals, and he really picked up for him tonight. Due to injuries, he got the opening night role, and he just won that game for them. Like, this guy just took over. And Josh Johnson, this guy, he's known. Josh Johnson's known for being a good pitcher.
Supposed to be the ace of the Marlins.
Yeah, and that's not good coming out, giving up the runs early. It's really just not a good thing to see out of your ace.
Well, and 2 things. First, on Kyle Loesch, I think the most important thing is Loesch wasn't really, I'm just going to say, he wasn't really that dominant pitcher.
Mm-hmm.
He only had 3 strikeouts, so he wasn't just fanning guys down. He wasn't saying, get out of that batter's box because you ain't going to hit this.
No.
He was pitching for contact, and in the Marlins park, especially when that roof is open, that park is going to be a pitcher's ballpark. And they even asked him after the game, he said, I love this ballpark.
I'm sure he does.
But I think on the other side, the Miami Marlins, this is not the way you wanted to start off the season, obviously. But more importantly, you spend a lot of money, like we said, $500 million on your stadium. You go out and you trade with both. Well, you didn't trade with the White Sox, but you basically picked up their ace.
Yeah.
You go ahead, you trade with the Chicago Cubs, get Big Z, Carlos Zambrano. You sign Ozzie. You also get Jose Reyes, a few other key parts, and you start the season off 0-1 against the defending national champions. I'm basically going to throw this question at you. You know what's coming. How big of a season is this for the Marlins, and do you think they can have a season where at the end they're going, okay, or is it World Series or bust?
No, there's a ton of pressure on the Marlins this year. They finally opened up their wallets, threw down the money, paid for good talent, got the new stadium, trying to get some more people to come watch games down there because it is not a baseball town really down there. So this is massively important. And like you said, they brought in Reyes, Burley, Big Z. Like, they're getting names now, and it's just so important that they win games. I don't think it's a World Series or bust, but I think they need to show that they're a playoff caliber team early on so they can keep attendance up. Because if they don't keep up the attendance, it's just a giant waste of money, and they're going to start dumping players like there's no tomorrow. They already said, unless we show something in the first 2 years, we're not going to ever do anything like this again with all the spending. So you hope for baseball and just in general that they do something good. And they have the tools to do something there.
Well, and the one thing I'm thinking is, I don't know what it is with Miami, But I kind of feel like we've seen this story before, and I'm thinking we're going to see the same old dances. In the NBA, you had the Miami Heat go out, big free agent period. They pick up Chris Bosh and LeBron James. When LeBron was a free agent, we had the infamous decision where he said, I will be taking my talents to South Beach. I think it's the same thing. The Marlins, and especially in the city of Miami just, it seems, loves to spend money, basically.
Well, this is new for the Marlins.
Just throwing money out there. And I kind of think that this throwing of money out by the Marlins would have never happened if the Heat didn't do what they did.
I don't know if it would have never happened. I mean, we've seen the Marlins go out and get, like, one name, but this is really a new thing for them. Picking up a couple big names. But the whole thing is, they have
a controversial manager, too.
Yeah, well, I think that's the connection. Ozzie knows how to deal with personalities. I say personalities because some of these guys have an ego bigger than the stadium. I mean, and the real important thing, what we saw tonight, actually, there was a play early on. A little grounder up in between Hanley and Reyes, and they both just kind of, toss the glove out a little bit, but they don't even bend over. Don't want to get the unis dirty.
See, more importantly on that play, I knew you were going to bring that up, Dave.
Yeah.
Because I'm thinking in my head, I'm like, if he doesn't do it, I'm going to bring it up. I kind of think that if I'm putting a blame on either player, I'm going to go more on Hanley. Because it seemed like in spring training, ever since they got Jose Reyes, it was like, hey, I don't want to do this. I don't want to move to third. I want to play short. Blah, 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 blah. It's like, shut up, play baseball. You should be happy you're even playing third base in the major leagues. Because if I was the GM, the owner, the fucking manager, if I heard that, I'd be like, fine. You only want to play shortstop? Have fun in AAA.
No, you can't do it. The guy's talented. He's just not going to give his all every night. And you see this, he's been benched for it.
Well, then trade him.
I mean, they need to. The guy's got a huge personality disorder. I think that's why they brought Ozzie in. Because Ozzie, that hot-headed guy, he knows these young guys. He knows how they act. He knows how to deal with them. So I really think Ozzie was the right choice to bring in and try to congeal this roster together, to put something together. But what we saw tonight was the champs being the champs, and they just went back to work like normal. Even without Albert, they still have great hitters around. And the pitching staff is phenomenal. We're getting Loesch coming out of nowhere, putting up great numbers. So I think the champs are going back for another run. They have a great chance to repeat.
Well, I know we can probably all agree they're going to win the Central Division in the National League because
It seemed that way.
You've got, first off, the Astros, complete terrible.
They're not even a team.
They're worse than the Pirates used to be. You got the Reds, they're on the up and up, but I think they're either a third or a second place team. You got the Cubs, who, I'm just going to say it now, I'm not expecting much as a Cubs fan this season. And then the Pirates, who they're on the up and up, but they're not that playoff caliber team yet.
There's still too many missing pieces.
They could prove us wrong, though. There's a lot of potential in Pittsburgh right now. I think it comes down to the Brewers and the Cardinals, and it basically comes down to who took the biggest bullet. Fielder, Pujols. I think it's the Brewers who took the biggest bullet because of how they didn't replace Fielder. Pujols got replaced, especially with Carlos Beltran.
I wouldn't say replace.
Well, you can't replace him fully, but they made a move to say, okay, we'll be fine.
Yeah, and they had the bats there to prove it. I mean, Freese stepping up. You got just a lot of batting power still there. So, I mean, even without Pujols, they're still going to get the runs and still get the RBIs. They're fine. And this year, they're looking a little better on the pitching end. Hopefully injuries pan out, everything goes well. This team's just right there in it for the championship run again.
And Dave, last thing we're going to do here, kind of, because we're in the beautiful city of Chicago, we're going to quickly recap, or preview, not recap, we're going to preview both the White Sox and the Cubs home opener. Let's start with the Cubs because they start tomorrow against the Washington Nationals. And Dave, sitting here as a Cubs fan,
You worried?
I'm not really optimistic about this home opener because, yes, we have Ryan Dempster on the mound. Yes, we have a new look. In Theo, we trust. And I want to see what this team can do, but I just kind of feel like MLB screwed us when they said, hey, have Steven Strasburg in your first game.
Yeah, that's a big order to take. I mean, Strasburg's a phenom. He's coming off his injury last year, but he showed some starts. He's still got it. The guy's a monster on the mound. You're screwed.
No.
You're screwed.
I think what it's going to come down, more importantly, is the pitching. And I just want to see what kind of Ryan Dempster we see on the mound
which Ryan
on
Dempster?
opening day.
Yeah.
Which one we see at him. And more importantly, in the third game, I want to see how Samardzija does as a starter.
That was a weird choice, too. I did not see Samardzija becoming a starter this year. I thought he always underperformed, but I guess, Theo's like, all right, let's just see what he's got. Let's get our answer right now.
Well, I mean, we've never started him.
Yeah.
He's always been that reliever, and I kind of think that Theo might be thinking in his head, hey, what else are we going to do?
Yeah.
I mean, this isn't a season... It's not like the season that the Cubs had in 2008, 2009-ish, where back in those times, the Cubs were actually predicted to win their division.
No.
And then
I think we've gotten a little more realistic.
Well, they did... They were a good team back then. They would win the NL Central, and then it would just seem both of those years, especially that series against the Dodgers, and Kosuke's first season, completely demolished by the Dodgers, and we never seemed to get out of that first round. And speaking of Kosuke Fukudome, he is going to start his first season with the Chicago White Sox.
So excited.
They open up against Colby Lewis and the new and improved Texas Rangers. And Dave, you were saying that you're not really scared of Colby Lewis in this one.
No, I don't get it. Colby Lewis has always been, I almost say, third or fourth role in the rotation. The guy's been up, he's been down. ERA always over, 3.5, 4 range. So I just don't see where I should be afraid of this guy. I mean, he's an okay pitcher, yeah.
The Marlins said the same thing about Kyle Loesch, though.
No, Loesch came out of nowhere. That's true. That's true. But no, I think the Sox have a great chance,
especially with Danks on the mound.
Yeah, Danks. Last couple years we've seen him. He's put up great numbers for us. He's been a reliable two-man. Burley gone. Now we're gonna see a new starter for opening day. It's a strange thing as a Sox fan, but no, I think we've got a good lineup. We've got good pitching in hand. It's just gonna come down to hitting this year, and we'll see if Adam Dunn and Alex Rios step up this year. And we got some young guys. We're hoping on Viciedo. I mean, he's just a linchpin in that outfield. We're really hoping he comes through.
And the one guy, even though I'm a Cubs fan, the one White Sox, I kind of hope he does well, and I want to see what he does. Chris Sales.
Sales, yeah. He's been in our system for a while. He's had some ups, some downs.
I think this could be, this has to be...
a breakout year?
It's kind of, not breakout, but kind of like, I'm here, I can be in the rotation, I can hang with guys like Danks and Floyd and Humber.
Yeah, it's pretty close to trusting him, but I think we're going to have to see up until All-Star break. Just make sure he can go, 6 innings and just not give up a hugely, not crumble late on, because we've seen him go, 4-3 range, and he does great in long relief, but I'm about letting him start a whole game,
Well, the last thing, I'm going to kick this one to you, Dave, because like I said, I'm the Cubs fan.
All right.
I don't really know much about this kind of question. How are you feeling going into opening day on Friday with Robin Ventura as your manager? What are you thinking as we get closer and closer to opening day?
I like Ventura. He's a player's guy. He was a player here, great player, great third baseman. I think that's really going to help out our team, having a having a player who's already done that, been there. He's got his championship ring from the Yankees. He's just done everything he needs to do, and the players can look up to him, respect him for it, and they have someone to go to with their questions if they have any. So I think it's a great thing to have someone with experience back there.
Well, that does it for the Onside Kick. Make sure to like us on Facebook up here at facebook.com/The Onside Kick, and over there above Dave,
Right there,
you've got our website, theonsidekick.webs.com. Thank you, everyone, for checking us out, and leave a comment below. Click the linkity links down below as well, and tell us what you think. Have a good evening, everybody.